There's a walking in my pocket. If anybody were to ask Pac-Man about what he calls a good time, they'd probably be expecting to give an answer like hanging out on the Pac Dots, eating fruit, or playing with Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. This might actually be why nobody ever asked Pac-Man this question, which, well, he's not complaining. The actual answer is a lot more nuanced, and also a lot more awkward to drop into casual conversation, especially when people have this idea or you in their head as this simple little sunshine with eyes and a big mouth, who is just as innocent as Peach or Daisy. This is wrong on multiple levels, starting from the fact that Pac-Man has walked in on Princess Peach, fucking the daylights out of Rosalina with a strap on, whilst Rosalina is also blindfolded, tied up, and crying, "I'm sorry, mommy, I'm a bad girl." Which was ironically enough not the worst thing he'd see them doing. He'll never forget the incident of Mario's hat, and then with how Pac-Man would probably quite happily quit working in the game industry if it meant he could spend the rest of his life doing the hibbity-dibbity. Yes, you heard that right. Pac-Man, that big yellow fuzzball so widely adored, loves nothing more than a good old bit of gland-to-gland combat, when again Mr. Wobbly hides his helmet, as one might call it, or punch fucking the rosebud, crack the pistachio nut. I just really like Humpty Squirty, he said, quite casually, as if his dick wouldn't curly inside someone as he did the squat thrust in the cucumber patch. He was quite used to all this, a rip and dip veteran, so to speak, so he had mastered the art of multitasking and learned the act, able to remain so perfectly functional that it wasn't for the very obvious evidence he was going heels to Jesus. You might walk past him and think that he was just doing something perfectly casual for his time. It required a very skill or determined partner or partners to be able to reckon these days. Otherwise, you would just have to do so much plunge that would horrify even the most hardened nymphomaniac. Maniac. Except perhaps for realism, he's just Peach and Rosalina. Those two are the only ones who can really compete against him when it comes to their dedication to the carnal grown moan. Whoa. Donkey Kong, the current victim of Pac-Man's prowess, could only get a long, shuddering groan that sounded close to the cry of a dying person. That than someone having the greatest sticking in their lifetime. He wasn't even able to support his body at this point, just lying completely limp on the bed while Pac-Man plowed him in the way that would put farmers to shame. Considering that Donkey Kong has already orgasmed 4 times at this point, which to him was his limit. Whilst Pac-Man had done it once and seemed to have another dozen left in him, the lack of enthusiasm was perfectly fair. Pac-Man was used to this kind of thing, and thus they continued to talk, as he did the bow chicka wow wow to Donkey Kong's swirly cream donut. In fact, I'd even go so far to say that my purpose in life is to bring an al dente noodle to the spaghetti house. Stop! Groaned Donkey Kong, starting to feel like his ass would literally burst into flames from how thoroughly putz he had been. Pac-Man obediently stopped, pointing out gently, and Donkey Kong slumped forward in complete defeat. Pac-Man patted him on the back and thanks, and then jumped from the bed, wandering towards the door without caring for the fact that he was still hard. It was fun, Pac-Man calls he leaves. Your breath sure was ripe, and Donkey Kong waits a moment till he can no longer hear the sound of whistling or footsteps before he groans once more, loud and defeated. A monster is the word he utters, a waka waka monster, and then someone save us all. Like most prayers, it is one that goes unanswered.